Bum, 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 bum. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-da. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-bum. Ba-da, ba-da, bum, ba-da-da. Bum, bum. Here's Johnny. Thank you, Ed. Well, hello there, social media family. Been of any subscribers and our visitors alike, or persons, yes, of any persons among yourselves who are affiliated or associated with and represent my own YouTube social media channel and or likewise chat room or comment section. How are you all doing? Well, hopefully everyone is doing at least okay, if not better yet to be said and stated for record. All right, or if not best of all, whereas any of your persons could possibly claim to be to have become or be, excuse, pardon, forgive me for butchering the English language American dialect. But anyway, as a backtrack here, would be no purpose of being on so that I can complete a former line of thought. Or if not best of all, whereas any of your persons can or could possibly claim to have become or be of a status whereas you can say that I feel blessed and stressed, one blessed and stressed, two blessed to possibly become or be stressed. You and yours, your family and friends, and hopefully me and mine likewise as well, are all the same. And now let's get to the present social media broadcast, being as it is of video content dealing with, why did I use that word? Or employ the uses instead of, oh, that's one way of putting it. And then it's involving or regarding or representing how a non-white woman of a born and raised female person representing the opposite sex had become subjected to experiencing what would be considered as that being, which is commonly called or commonly known as racial profiling, and or not to mention excessive force or police brutality. Oh, excuse me. And now, whereas her family should get paid in full, you know, being that because the shooting was not justified. Yes, and if any of your persons have heard the news report, well, I'm sure that some, if not all of you have, whereas this one non-white woman and being of a race among the ethnic minorities, you know, yes, she was not Caucasian herself. And where she was, so I say, and I'll stay for the record to be more specific, she was a black woman. And regardless of whether or not this, you know, male Caucasian or white man, a local police officer or cop, you know, is to be considered as a racist redneck, closet Klan, closet Nazi, neo-Nazi. But nevertheless, that of a criminal incident had occurred or happened, whereas a life was taken, whereas the female victim in question had become subject to experiencing, you know, a violation of her civil and human rights, being of which had become lethal or fatal to her. And I will try to reiterate as much as possible from what I have gathered of information or of the, you know, news headline story of data in question, and whether or not I were to keep you posted on any updates to this particular present current events, just as long as I give you all the general idea of what had transpired here and now within this present social media broadcast of video content That should all be considered as, how should I put it? Now, that is all that really matters. That is all that should really, you know what I'm saying, matter. In due regard and reference to these matters. Not that I meant to sound like Johnny Repeat, you know, being of a hoodlum, a gangster, you know. And I most certainly, definitely do not condone the actions of any dirty cops, neither nor any criminal activities of, you know, members of the underworld or the rank and file of the much more familiar criminal elements of society for any given country or nation, especially right here in our own backyard for what we, you know, call and know as the Democratic Republic or democracy of the USA, United States of America. So anyway, though, this one black woman, she claimed that as she had placed an emergency tel call to the local police authorities or police officers or cops, members of the law enforcement community of officials in question, and where she was claiming that she suspected an intruder or home invader attempted to break into her place, her residence, regardless of whether it was an apartment or a hotel or motel room or house or home. That's irrelevant, really. But what's more important to think about is that upon the police having arrived, a police officer with his partner at her premises or properties at a given local neighborhood community address location for a vicinity area. I'm trying to remember where this happened. Hopefully it didn't happen within my own city, being a metropolitan Chicago, Illinois, USA. I'm sorry, I didn't keep up with the news story as much as I could. Sorry about that, but I did get the general idea of what had happened. You all can rest assured. But anyway, upon the police having arrived at the scene, you know, being a witch would degrade to something even worse, or you know. Now I don't know what was this woman's problem. I don't know if she had any kind of emotional damage, no pun intended, or in other words, I don't know if she had some kind of you know, severe mental disorder, serious mental problem, like my present public nuisance problem neighbor, you know, one of the worstest neighbors from damn hell in one of the worstest neighborhood communities, you know, and as he himself is a local drug pusher who continues to assume he has a legit personal vendetta or grudge match against my person, you know, from following me into the business office of the management of real estate administrative representative personnel, when all I'm thinking about doing is going in there to renew my apartment rental lease, although I was having misgivings about it, and because of him, to he himself, you know, sitting on a stoop in the dead of night with phenomenal record-breaking weather temps, like somebody's throwing a monkey wrench in Mother Nature's program, then because the weather temps are not all that natural, but partly man-made at times, and where he's like saying, "We good," you know, with his creepy and crazy self, but not so much as crazy or stupid as he could become or be. He know just how far he can go with that nonsense. And he was saying, for the last mention, talking all that smack on the phone line to your party about me behind So it was a locked door, placed red in the apartment. So I'm paraphrasing, not quote exactly. And I saying, so what? That's that's me. That's my prerogative, And whereas he's threatened me verbally with words talking out the side of his neck, like a drunk or a hype, Not that I mean to stray from the original subject matter type of discussion to be debated of a given argument with many different views and opinions to be affiliated, associated with, and representing some such there. But I'm going somewhere with this here before I were to get back to the original subject matter. So I called the police on him. So I say in backtracking here to complete a former line of thought, to continue from where and when my person had last left off. And to him running down, well, first of all, let me say, to him damn near hitting me with his bicycle. First of all, let me mention this here. Yeah. Whereas he rode his bike up on me, and he was just a few inches in back of me. And then he rode his bicycle alongside me, or his bike to say, and didn't bother to say excuse me. So that let me know that he did that on purpose. That was not a mere accident, To him running, now I get back to something as I was about to say or do say so now, stay for record for that matter. To him running down the sidewalk at one given moment in time or another, and with one hand in his coat jacket pocket like he's packing heat and ready to smoke me, whereas I'm trying to catch a train for the train station right across the street from the building here, and whereas from there I had to change my mind, take a detour, and take a bus much rather instead. To him running from the front entrance and exitway of the building as I'm coming back from the hospital after having felt sick as a dog or having to go to a medical facility as that being to be treated with general services by doctors and nurses, licensed physician or whatever said. And once I had seen him, notice or witness him at that particular entrance and exit way, was I'm having to take a detour and try to enter the building through the back way, whereas he must have ran from the front entrance and exit way to get to the back of the building where I was going, and was I barely made it in to my apartment through that particular. Where is that when you say no? I seen it was open, compared to the other. Whereas he uses that particular back door to the building the one that's next to my apartment, regardless of it having a defective lock mechanism, whereas you have to prop something in between the door and the border to make sure you can come and go quite easily, compared to the other back door, where you can come and go much more easily without having to prop anything in between the door and the border to, come and go, whereas you can just put your key in and it works fine compared to the other one. And whereas I noticed that it was propped open, so I come through the back door and barely made it in to my apartment from there after having entered into the building and closed and locked my door. And whereas he come on through and he's like standing outside my apartment door, misbehaving like himself is practically, if not possibly, about to kick it in. And where my phone was dying, and I just managed to, not just by means of sheer luck, but it was a blessing to get off an emergency tail call to the police to let them know that there's trouble in paradise, and at the same time recharge my cell phone. But then the only reason why I brought up all that, is this character has what would appear, well, that's not the half of it, more than seem like he has a severe mental disorder or serious mental problem. And that's the only reason why I brought that up. And speaking on that last, and to get back to the original subject matter. And so I get to wondering whether or not this one black woman may have had some kind of severe mental disorder, serious mental problem, as well as could have had a drinking and or drug addiction problem. Then because the very reason why I say that is being that because you don't hold a boiling pot of water in your hands when the police tell you to put it down. See, she had originally called the police then because she was fearing an intruder or a home invader, similar to a party crasher. And then she went to the eye of a stove in her place of residence at a given address location. Then because one of two police officers or cops had told her to turn off her stove. He don't want, sorry about that, he don't want anything to burn up, while they discuss matters, while they investigate her emergency 911 call to them, or her registered complaint or stated grievances about a possible and potential intruder or home invader. So she turns it off. She turns the eye of the stove off, and then she grabs the hot pot of water that was on the eye of the stove, and she's approaching this police officer with his partner, and whereas he's wondering what is she going to do with that boiling pot of hot water, so he tells her to put it down. And you throw a boiling pot of hot water upon somebody, you could rest assured that it's going to do some or such severe or serious damage to anybody, regardless of race, walk of life, gender, age, whatever. But then, so she didn't put it down, and she kept approaching the police officer, and she was saying something about, in the name of Jesus, I rebuke you. And I guess it registered in the police officer's or cop's mind while she's saying that she's approaching him and his partner with the very pot of boiling hot water that she got off of the eye of the stove after she turned the eye of the stove off. And I guess it registered in both of their minds. What is she saying? Is she directing her comments or remarks at us, or what? And why does she keep approaching us with this pot of boiling hot water when she already had been told to put it down? So I mean, I know I may catch a lot of slack in one regard, if not another, but you can understand how they must have felt. But then at the same time, as I played the part of the devil's advocate, I have to look at matters from another side of the coin of a given argument otherwise, and that is, why didn't just one of those police officers just tase her? You didn't have to shoot her. You have a taser as well, an alternative option. So both parties were at fault. And that's all I have to say on that matter. You all take care and be safe. Get salvation of Christ while you still can, for tomorrow's not promised to anybody. Peace. Yeah.